it's Joel. Welcome to my garage while the upstairs undergoes a little renovation. We're gonna film out here. I've got lights, and I've got camera, and I've got camera, and I've got a camera, and I'm mic'd. This is good. Here's what's gonna go on. You know, I was at Printed Solid not that long ago. They do Makerbox, and I got to pick and choose cool stuff for the Makerbox, and I got to show you behind the scenes, and I got to show you how their operation worked, and we talked about a bunch of filaments, blah, blah, blah. But right now, look at this. This is the Makerbox. This is the one that I curated. I'm gonna open it up, we're gonna take a look inside, and then we're gonna print some things with it. So, well, you know what? The garage floor is slick, and I've always wanted to do this. So how about this? Ready? We're gonna do it right here on 3D Printing Nerd. Welcome back. With a bunch of different camera angles, let's hope you get the most out of this video, because I'm just opening up a box and I'm gonna show you what's inside the box. That's boring. So let's make it exciting with more camera angles and visuals and explosions and, ooh, wait, here, Sean, fire in my hand. I don't know. So this is the Makerbox. You can tell that the Postal Service had its way with it because it is depressed on the top side. Not depressed as in sad, but depressed as in depressed. I'm gonna take my handy dandy knife, find a place, and I'm just gonna go, wow, cut right there. Ooh, look at this. Get your fill on, which I believe is an abbreviation for filament, but it could also be filbert. Doo-doo-doo. This is what's in a Makerbox. There's a little JoelBot magnet, a 3D gloop sample. This is for ABS, and here's some information on how to use it. Ooh, lots of stickers. A Makerbox sticker, a Marlin sticker, a Printed Solid sticker, I Print Matte, which is a proto-pasta sticker, an atomic filament envelope opener, but it's also a filament cutter. Sour Patch Kids, okay. A departure from the typical Haribo of the 3D printing community. Ooh. Discounts on included brands. Okay, you know what? There's a bunch of links and Twitter handles and etc. So I will put those in the description of this video. Introducing the loyalty program. I guess we'll put that in the description as well. Reading stuff is just, we'll save that for the Fan Mail Friday. Welcome to your first Makerbox. That's fun. Normally, it contains 4 samples. For your first month, we include a 5th sample for free. Sincerely, Matthew Gordon, hand model. This is when it gets down to it. So this is Alpha Pro beta release. This is, it says it prints like PLA. A material that prints as easy as PLA but has better durability. Filoalfa, F-I-L-O-A-L-F-A. Thinks they might have figured it out. You can expect this film to be easy to print, resistant to high temperatures, UV resistant, resistant to hydrolysis, elevate performance, impact resistance, and it gives butterflies their wings. Oh, matte fiber, HT Pla blue. This is from proto-pasta, and this is very much like a high five blue, but it's matte. Not matte like Matthew Gordon, but matte is an M-A-T-T-E, low luster, low shine. Ooh, next up, Miranda Mint. This is the stuff that a Print-A-Pro makes for Ivan Miranda. You love his channel, I would assume. Hello, everyone, is what he always says. I can't wait to print with this because it's red and it's PLA, and I love that man. So we'll print with that. And then a marble PLA from Atomic Filament. This is a marble PLA, and a box, Well, here, let's get up close and personal with these filaments here. We'll start with the marble PLA. Kind of looks like that. That is a good looking filament. The Print-A-Pro red stuff. Oh, it feels smooth. Boy, that is a red. I don't know if the camera can pick up just how red that filament is. That is Miranda Mint, the matte fiber. So no gloss stuff. This is from proto-pasta. It has a texture to it like the other matte fibers, but it's a wonderful blue. Not my favorite blue, but it's a blue. I'm blue. Okay, and this is the Alpha Pro beta release. Look at that, it's kind of a white or an ivory. I'm kind of excited to try this out. I'm gonna be honest with you, I didn't know this filament was gonna be in the box. I got to curate these other ones. This was a surprise. Matt Gordon over at Printed Solid, he made sure that was going to be a surprise for me. All right, well, we have these 1, 2, 3, 4 filaments. There's 4 right here in my hand. What I'm gonna do, I'm gonna print a mini Joel. Maybe a mini Joel and a Maker coin, something like that. We'll get those printed up, and then I'll shower, probably change, because it'll take a little bit, and I'll see you on the other side. Look at that, prints are done. It's a new day. My hair is hand styled with a grenade, I guess. But we've got the prints. Let's take a look at them and see how all this stuff performed. Let's start off first with Alpha Pro Beta Release from Filoalfa. Falafels, I love falafels. Holy crap, this filament, I've never printed with this before. This was amazing stuff, literally amazing. It looks crazy good. The Prusa did a really good job. So this is a headless Joel because it fell off the build plate, but I printed a Maker coin and I printed a mini Joel. They look astounding. The layer lines are barely visible at all, and this filament is consistent in its extrusion, and it looks gorgeous. It is gorgeous up front. This Maker coin, oh, it's beautiful. I'm gonna keep it. I'm gonna keep this Maker coin. These look amazing, and I am beyond impressed with this filament, and I'm gonna order a roll of this filament because, wow, printed easy, really cool. Have a little bit left over to make some sort of, vase, I guess. But that's the point of this. It's to try out a filament to see if you wanna buy a larger roll of it. And I'm gonna buy a larger roll of this filament because this is freaking cool. Next, we had the Miranda Mint. Very red, very Ivan Miranda. And oh no, the Maker coin looks really good, and the original Joel is basically just a little piece of plastic poop with feet. And that happened because it broke loose from the build plate as well. So I modified the G code, and I included a giant brim with everything. That seemed to work, and it held on to things fine. The mini Joel looks great in this red. The print quality is good. I don't know if this is the Prusa or if this is the filament itself, but it has a certain texture to it. This texture isn't visible on the other mini Joel, so it could be the filament, but the red is vibrant and the print quality is amazing. It looks wonderful. This is fantastic filament. The Maker coin itself turned out great. The curves and everything look good. There's a slight texture to it. But again, this is filament from a box that allows us to sample filaments. So this was fun. I enjoyed this. Ivan Miranda has himself some wonderful filament, and it won't fit back in the bag. Next was the Marble PLA from Atomic. I do like Atomic, they make good stuff. I had a little bit left over there. This was after I changed everything to have a little bit of a brim, because I noticed a little bit of lifting on the Maker coin previous. I left the brim on so you could see it. This is a wonderful filament. This reminds me a lot of the Polyalchemy FX series, where it's plastic, but because of the shading and because of the specs in it, oh, it looks so good. It looks like marble, right? It looks like something you would want to print maybe a bust or a statue out of, maybe treat it with some 3D gloop or smooth it in a way and then finish it and then put it on display. I am in love with this filament. This looks really, really good. Wow, look at little mini Joel there. I would buy this as well, along with that other filament, because of this box, the samples that I got. I like how it performs. I would buy this filament. Thanks, Atomic. Last, and certainly not least, is the matte Fiber Ht Pla from proto-pasta. And I do have a little bit left over of that. I did have some issues. So typically when I print with proto-pasta on the Prusa i3 Mark III, I have to kick up the temperatures. It's just something that has to happen. I think proto-pasta even has an article on their website talking about this. So I saw Ht Pla in the name, even though it's matte fiber, and I thought, ooh, I have to kick up the temperatures. So you'll notice some stringing on the Maker coin. Yes, you'll also notice some layer shifting, but you'll notice some stringiness on the Maker coin, and that's because of this higher temperature. In fact, Mini Joel has hairy legs. Mini Joel has hairy legs. I like the matte fiber texture. I like the feel of it. This got tangled up on itself and essentially like a shoelace. It tied itself into a knot, and the Prusa, well, it has the collision detection, but it knows how to detect against a sudden collision. But if it's a slight movement over time or something like that, I don't know. That's why you got a Maker coin that looks like that. So what I did while I was printing, I thought, uh-oh, because I had sequential printing turned on where I would print this and then I would print this. And so because it didn't know where it was on this, what I had to do is essentially have it do a collision detection where I pinched the rod and it tried to move against my hand and it couldn't. So then it rehomes itself on X and Y, and then it goes forth and it keeps printing, which is why it recovered and started printing the Maker coin in the right spot. And that's why the Mini Joel actually printed. This HTPLA, the matte fiber, doesn't need to print at the higher temperatures that the proto-pasta HTPLA prints at. I originally had it at 230. I kicked it down to 210 by the end. Mini Joel looks good. Still a little bit of stringing at the top with the hair and stuff. I would have to experiment with some retraction settings and temperature settings and whatnot. I do have a little bit of filament left over. I think it's a pretty filament. I think you would be happy if you purchased this. The texture of matte fiber is crazy. It has this, it doesn't feel like a plastic. It almost feels like a peach fuzz on the outside, a very slight peach fuzz. And what's really cool about that is if you were to sand it or paint it or both, it takes to that really, really well. In order to print the models, I was using the Prusa i3 Mark III 3D printer. I was using Prusa edition of Slicer or Slick 3R, depending on your preference. And I used the standard Prusa PLA settings. So it's 215 for the first layer, 210 all layers. Above that, 60C on the bed. It's a PEI bed. I wiped it down with isopropyl alcohol. Fan speed kicks on at 100% on the second or third layer, I think is what it is. It's like 5 top layers, 4 bottom layers, 2 or 3 perimeters. The thing to consider though is it is 20% infill, and 20% infill is fine. It's a bit overkill for this, and if I reduced the infill, then I would have been able to print more things and had more filament left over. I just went with defaults other than the proto-pasta stuff, and it seemed to work just fine, and the results, they'll speak to it. One of the things though I do need to talk about is the problems that were encountered. So the filament was tangled, and it tangled on the filament holder, and then tried to pull it down. Essentially it like tightened like a shoelace, wasn't able to do it. There was also a problem with the proto-pasta filament. There are some chunks taken out of it, and I don't think that was from me. I really don't. The other one had some chunks taken out of it right there. And I want to say that was at the factory or possibly the time of spooling. I spoke to Matt with Makerbox and Printed Solid, and if anyone ever runs into this sort of issue with a sample, what they'll do is they'll send you a new one, just like that. So I got the prints that I needed from this in order to determine if this was a filament I would want to order. I don't think I would need another sample to determine more, but another sample would come in handy just so I could dial in those settings. And so most likely in this situation, I would say, yes, please send me another sample of proto-pasta matte fiber, and I will do some more tests with it. But look at that. That's got some pieces missing. That got into a fight with a bear and lost.
Get away from the bear.
Well, there you have it. That Makerbox that I was curating actually turned out pretty good. It had a lot of cool stuff in it, and the materials that came in there were awesome. There were 2 materials that really stood out with me. The beta release, the Filoalfa one, and the atomic marble PLA, I think is what it was. Both of those would be ones that I would print a lot of things with. Of course, links will be down in the description, and the discount for the Makerbox is still on. That link will also be in the description. Hey, you know what? This was a lot of fun. Thanks for coming by. I'll see you on the next one. Don't forget to hug each other more. I love you guys. As always, high five.